Hey everybody. So I don't know what this is called. It's Pinball Chat with Friends. We'll figure it out as we go along. I'm joined by Combo Chuck down below and Pink Ninja Man, and I'm cell processing. So, anyways, I wanted to get some friends together and start doing this about once a month because I just like talking pinball and I don't really have an outlet. And this is kind of my outlet to do that, is sit here and just rant to a camera with you guys, but I also want to just like sit here and talk to my friends about it. So this week we've had X-Men shown by Jack Danger and Steam, or the Stern team. God, I cannot talk tonight. JJP showed off a pretty good preview of Avatar, and we're going to be talking about FOMO and pinball because I don't know about you guys. I know a lot of people that bought X-Men without even seeing the stream. So that's something I really wanted to dive into. So for tonight, I think we're going to start off with the what we actually saw of the pins. So as far as X-Men goes, why don't we go ahead and start with you guys? Chuck, you want to tell us your thoughts on it?
Sure, man. Yeah. So X-Men, well, right off the bat, it's not really a theme that resonates with me, but they can be fun for me. I didn't grow up with comic books or anything, but I mean, Godzilla wasn't a fan of either, and I love that game, right? So if the game's good, the game's good. But it was really cool to see Jack Danger on this one. I loved seeing some familiar aspects of that from what he brought from Fu with the loops and
Mm-hmm.
the Jack Dangerness of it. So it was really cool. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what it turns into, and
I,
uh, and yeah.
I,
So overall,
I am ready to declare. Like I said, like during that thing, I think I even messaged Jack and I said, "Dude, you're now officially the king of swoop." That's how I feel about him because it's just like all of his designs, even like to a certain point, like JP Home was like a little bit swoopy and stuff. So I really enjoyed that about that. What did you think about it, Pink?
Yeah, I think the layout is really exciting. It's probably the part that everyone's been talking about the most is just
Mm-hmm.
something some people have been saying it's not a new layout. It's just like Golden Wings, yada yada. But like if we take a look at modern Sterns, they've all been
Mm-hmm.
pretty standard with kind of like, the usual two flippers, so many inlanes, stuff like that. So to see like a left outlay being this danger room area, I think it's really exciting. One of the things that I actually thought was interesting is the right out lane is actually also the shooter lane. I don't know if anyone else
Yes.
caught that during the stream, but I
Yes.
thought that was actually pretty cool that there's like a one-way gate actually protecting the shooter lane. I don't know that I've seen another pin use the out lane as the shooter lane.
I have
So
not seen that before. And also just like the ball path coming out of the shooter, like it comes around back on a wire form. And I can't even like figure that part out, how to where it intersects and feeds into that with the ramp back there and everything. Like there's some aspects of this is like when you look at it, you're just like, huh? It's just like, and then there's like two skill shots where it kind of like drains down in different parts of the play field. And one of them
hmm
actually looks like one of the parts that comes down is like past the sentinel head, which it's like I thought that was like a ramp
yeah.
shot. Isn't there like a wire form back there? Like how's that work? So there's like a couple aspects of it that's, and the main thing I tried to ask like 3 times already and haven't gotten an answer. Have you guys noticed the target by the baby flipper on the lower part of the playfield?
mm-hmm. Yeah,
I don't
So
I've
think I
the,
noticed
the
that.
little
noticed it.
baby target in danger room, there's that little post right here, and between that and the post, there's a target below it. I have no clue how you hit that or what it's for.
Yeah, and I mean, you weren't the only one curious. I saw some questions in chat, Carrie Hardy being one of them, and yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
see any answers. So I think a lot of people are curious, and my bet is that there's a plan for it. It's just not ready.
I bet you it has something to do with dust saving. I guarantee it's a dust save target or something like that. Like your ball comes back if it just like leaves the danger room. If you flick the machine back on that post and hit the target, I bet you it saves the ball. How much you that
So is the
that's what I'm
target
thinking.
underneath the flipper where like it kind of comes up,
So
or is
like
it?
the flipper comes down like this. If you go directly vertically down from the flipper
Yeah,
where it's
it's on
sitting,
that.
there's a target underneath there, and then like the post is like
Ah.
right out here.
So if it has enough momentum coming down the right in lane, it could bounce up and hit that target as well.
Yeah, probably. Well,
Yeah.
no, 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 because the flippers are offset, so it would have to go down. It would have to come past the hole somehow to do that. It's pretty far up. So I think it's only on the danger room side. Yeah. The other thing that was cool is how he's got the post in there. If you don't get a good enough feed on the danger room and it comes back around, there's like a little piece of the wire form missing, and it drops right on top of that post and causes the drive back up into the playfield.
Hmm.
It's just like there's like
Mis-
things in there. It's like how much time did he spend like every night just messing? Like
Yeah.
I would love to know how many whitewoods of this there are. I bet you there's a ton. 'Cause I just don't know
Well,
how you just do that.
he mentioned, working with on a virtual pin, working with it there, and being able to kind of test things out. So yeah, I wonder
Hmm.
how much of that he leveraged to kind of find these kooky things to do, and then try
That's a
them
good
out
point.
physically once they made sense.
Yeah, I didn't think a virtual pin would be that dead on, or maybe it's just like by a few degrees between what it's actually doing and whatnot. And I'm also curious as to this machine seems to me like for it to really hit everything right, you got to make sure it's level like perfectly, or
Hmm.
else you're gonna have like it just thrown off a couple hairs or whatever, and it's just not gonna work right. But man, just the way everything flows on it and all that, it's an amazing showing. Um, Now, as far as the stream goes, got some things to say about that.
Uh,
Why don't you guys go ahead and dig in on that?
well, so the stream, in my opinion, the stream was not. I don't think it it didn't do the game any injustice, or they didn't make the game look worse. It's just that they didn't show it. I felt like it was an opportunity to show features, an opportunity to
Right.
talk about things. And even Wason mentioned more than a few times, we should really be talking about this. And I'm like, yeah, you should. Let us know what's going on.
Yeah.
So it would been nice if they highlighted things and kind of showed things off. And it didn't help that they're wearing costumes that didn't help them play and get much further. But
That's a Jack thing. That's something
yeah.
he's done for years, yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, it unfortunately it was kind of a bummer because of that. But I'm waiting. I'm looking forward to the next one because hopefully they hit the nail on the head with the next one.
I'm excited to see what the Pro is too. And I'm
Hmm.
hoping it's much more of a normal stream, but hopefully they're learning or listening, I should say, and learning from that because my main opinion is like at the end of the day, I need to have at least a basic understanding what the rule set for the game is. That also sells me on the pin at the end of the day because like just saying like, hey, we're just gonna flip it a couple times around and not really explain what the rules or stuff are going on here, how it works or interacts or anything like that. That's like somebody going out and like, I want to play a board game. Oh, I don't need to know the rules. I just like moving the pieces around, you know?
Uh-huh. Yep.
So that's kind of my problem with like just these. And Stern's been doing this for years with these streams, and it drives me nuts. It's like they did, to their credit, they did explain the rules before, but they always did it kind of like pointing at it and like hitting like the little flipper or like the end lane to keep it from going into ball search and stuff like that. I
Hmm.
think there's like an in between, like where you can just like take a couple minutes, just explain what the rule structure is. It's either like a ladder or it's like phase based or something like that. There is a way to explain the rules of a pinball machine fairly simply and easily. And then you start with your basic stuff like how to start a mission, how to get the easiest multi ball started, stuff like that. So when people go on location and play it, they at least have the basics down. And then there's like still like a little bit of that like discovery on their own, you know? So it's
Hmm.
like I think just by going in and just playing it right off the bat with like no real explanation of a lot of stuff, or as they're going along, I just don't learn as well when like the game's playing. I had to watch it like 3 times to pick up on certain things myself. So
Hmm.
that's kind of my critique of that. But as far as like the game goes, how did you guys feel about it after the stream?
Yeah, the stream was nice. I do agree that they could have maybe explained some things a little bit more. They did mention very quickly, shoot white shots, light the mode. I don't think they ever mentioned what you had to shoot to start the mode. It actually looked like you could start it on a couple different ways because I saw it start a few times on the left magnet hold and a few times on the right post hold. Um, and then the main takeaways for me was that there wasn't anything super exciting when it came to the code that was
Hmm.
like drawing me in, like, ooh, this is a cool feature in the code. It kind of just felt like another Stern, if that makes sense, where here's some multi-balls, here's some modes, you do enough
Yeah.
modes, you get a mini wizard. Like there's a lot of Sterns that do that, and there's, nothing too exciting code wise. It's not a bad thing, but it's not, there's nothing that like makes me want to go and try and achieve something in the code.
Well, you and I personally have had conversations about this, how a lot of Stern code feels samey. Because like a lot of the modes when they integrate it, it's like variations on same modes that we've seen in other games. There's not like a ton of creativity. Now that's still to be determined because we don't know a whole lot about the code on this. And I did, from what I could tell, like when you go into the future and come back in the past, it changes missions because apparently you changed something or something to that effect.
Hmm.
That's a cool aspect of it. But so far, all I saw is like, hey, if you hit the blue shot, it's the shot it wants you to hit, but you can also hit these ones too. We've seen that mode before. We've seen the mode where you've had two arrows lit, you can hit either one that moves across. We've seen the moving shot before. And it's just like more of the wheelhouse that we've typically seen. I would like to see more creativity. And I think that's where like coders like Geetsky coming in has been rather refreshing to see because I think she's had some really interesting new code for almost like Godzilla, Jaws,
Ross.
old man brain kicking in. But yeah, it's like I do think Stern needs to change it up a little bit on the code. And it's either like old school, like kind of like ramp, hit shot to start a mode. And then it's like hit like so many modes to get into like the mini wizard and then so many to get into like wizard. Or it's like a ladder climb where you can choose like what modes you want to start in any order, but you're still like climbing that ladder to get up. Or it's, kind of like broken off into like different parts or phases. And that's like the main three that we've kind of seen from them so far. And
Hmm.
I actually miss like the old school like valley rolls a little bit too, where there's like open table goals a lot of times. Where you're like trying to get like 10 combos and stuff like that. I'd like to see simpler stuff also interjected in there too, but
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
yeah,
and I mean, I had those same feelings, and as I was trying to figure things out, it didn't help that the play field kind of hurt my brain looking at it from top down. I think it looks better from a normal perspective,
it
but I
does.
was trying to figure things out myself, and that just made it worse. Even the hidey holes in the art and everything, it was really just hard to kind of figure it out. But
Yeah.
to directly answer your question with my thoughts on what I thought after the stream, I was not a potential buyer when it first dropped. I thought it was cool. I am fine waiting a year to buy a pro or even a premium.
Hmm.
So I didn't have FOMO or anything going in. When I went in, I kind of feel the same, but I was not a buyer. If I was a buyer with FOMO, I kind of feel like I'd been a little let down. But I have the hope that Jack Danger has proved himself before, and
Yeah.
that Stern is typically good at climbing that mountain when it comes to code after the announcement, right?
Yeah. And I see TK's in chat. Hey man, what's up? He's still awake. Hi TK, how you doing, man?
Yo.
Come back and stream sometime. We miss you. Yeah, I will admit that when I saw it. So first of all, I'm just gonna say I grew up with X-Men, it was like a staple. And more so because it was like I liked watching the cartoons, I like reading the comics, and I had like incredible access to the comics through my brother. My brother is one of those kids that had like almost every X-Men comic known to man by the time he was like 16 years old. Like his entire like underneath his bed was just like boxes and boxes and boxes of like comics. And so it was a big part of my childhood, but not like for me personally. For me it's more like a Turtles thing is but when they announced it, I was kind of like, okay, I'm curious to see what it is. And then the combination of it being X-Men and seeing the shots that Jack came up with on this, I'm gonna admit I had FOMO bad, dude. I'm like, oh my god, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. How did he do that? It's doing a swoopy thing. I'm just like freaking excited, right? I'm just like, I
Hmm.
need to have this. And then I saw the stream, and I'm like, I can wait. It's like I'm still like kind of like I still want it, but I'm fine waiting at this point now. And there's a couple of things that just for me it was like, why does Gambit sound the way he does? That was my nitpick of the whole thing. And I would like to just it kind of has an Avengers problem for me where I didn't see anything like really humorous in it. And how do you have a Gambit sound guy in there doing Gambit call outs? And not once did I hear him say, "I'm gonna make a name for myself." Right after Deadpool and Wolverine came out, like, how do you not interject like humor like that into the thing? So,
Yeah.
I'm not saying
Yeah, you're right.
they don't always need to be humorous, but it's a huge factor for me buying a pinball machine. I like it when they're freaking funny.
Oh, definitely.
So, yeah. So,
That's what helped,
anyways,
Deadpool stand out to me, even though I'm not a Marvel fan. Like, Deadpool pinball is just amazing, and
yeah,
it being funny really helps me keep into it, right? Just his
yeah.
call outs and making fun of me every now and then and whatever else, just lighten up mood. I like that.
One of the things people have been harping on is the music. I actually like synthwave, so I
Me
kind of
too.
like the music.
Mhm.
I didn't really have a problem with it. I will say I didn't think it felt like superhero-y music. It was different, and it's not like in the wheelhouse of like what we've seen before with like X-Men stuff. But I still dug it for the most part. I think the only song I was kind of like, the Juggernaut tune is a little bit like crunchy and weird sounding. Sounds like a jackhammer or something going off. Maybe that was the whole point. Maybe that's how he got his himself in there. It's a jackhammer noise.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I'm the same. I love synthwave. Yeah, it's great stuff. But I will admit that I wasn't, it wasn't, I don't know, I wasn't thrilled to hear the track, but when I did kind of notice it and jam to it, just by listening to it, it was cool,
Uh-huh.
but it didn't feel like I was meshing with the theme very well or the gameplay, right? But, they could improve on stuff like that, I think.
Definitely. I don't know. That's kind of my thoughts on X-Men so far. You guys have anything else you want to add or
I think it's gonna be a solid game. Like, it's not quite hitting check boxes to make it kind of like stand out from some other Sterns, other than the layout. I will admit the layout definitely helps it stand out, but I think that for me is like 5 or so plays at an arcade, and that'll start to wear off already. And so hopefully something in the code makes it kind of stay fresh and makes me want to dive deeper into the game.
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure. One thing I want to mention is I really like the Sentinel and his presence in it, right? And his
Yeah, that is
interactivity with
true.
the playfield, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's super cool. Both sides of the playfield, he has some kind of interaction with the mess up your gameplay. And what I've noticed, I forgot who was playing, but I noticed that the hand when it crushed the track for the ball, that
Mhm.
it aims right down the middle.
Yeah, it does.
And I was like, wow, that's insane. That's crazy style. But I love it when there's an antagonist that has a pretty huge role and is a pretty big presence the full time in your game, right? So that's cool, and I really can't wait to see, what more they do with that to kind of make it you versus him, right? So that's neat.
If I'm a betting man, if I think if you got it set to the right pitch and the right balance, and that hits, the intention is it for it to bounce off the post.
Yeah,
I
I can see
bet
that.
you. Yeah.
Hmm.
Which
That's
that would
pretty
be a
cool.
cool feed. But yeah. But man, yeah, it's not a question of like if I buy it. It's now a question of like when I'll buy it, you know? And I got to be honest, just with the way the market is right now, I'm probably going to wait for a used one to pop up. So, just the way it is right now. Speaking
Hmm.
of pins I can't afford, JJP came out today and showed off Avatar.
Yes. Yes.
So, we have our resident JGP man down there. So, why don't you get us started what you thought on the video they showed today?
I was actually pretty excited for it. The initial pictures of it, you couldn't really see much. But yeah, the video was pretty good. I think they did a good
Mhm.
job of breaking down a lot of the features, kind of modes, this and that, the different areas. I always think they do a really good job with theme integration and the DMD, if you will, the LCD screens. They always nail those things, in my opinion. The thing I was most excited about was the arrows multiplier feature.
All right.
Very interesting, and that to me is like innovation in the coding side that makes me say like this is cool. I want to go mess around with just that feature, and it's
Yeah.
not even any one of the modes, right? Like you can bring that into anything presumably. But yeah, overall, like made me feel better about it. I don't know that it's like one of my top JJPs, but we'll have to wait to see more on it.
Yeah,
Okay, we
I'm
got
I'm
some more people in chat. Sorry to interrupt. TK said, yeah, Gambit. He was hoping it's a placeholder. That voice work was crazy. I don't know what was that with that. It sounded more like a prospector to me. Um, Homegrown says nerds and agreed. And Pink's in there saying hi to home. All right, sorry. Sorry to ruin
nah,
your
you're
thought.
good. You're good. Yeah, I mean, so Avatar, I love the world. I love the first movie. I didn't watch the second movie. I'm not an Avatar nut or anything, but I
Yeah.
do love the theme. I love the colors. I love the idea of what it is, right? Just nature versus mechanical, and just there's a lot of cool things about it. But there were a ton that I actually really liked about this pin. This was opposite of X-Men for me, where I saw it and I was like, meh, Avatar. But their trailer and their handiwork with putting that trailer together was
Yeah.
fantastic. It was really good. And it was so good that I got really excited. And this is the first time we're talking about FOMO right now. This is actually the first time where I had to deal with FOMO. I had to stop myself from
Wow.
pulling that trigger because A, it's
Mm,
super expensive, right? But
very expensive.
B, I usually like to play it. I usually like to know more. I want to know about the, and I can wait. I'm a person who can wait.
Mm-hmm.
But this, I'll get into this a little later. But the CEs kind of got me hooked with some of the things it offers.
Oh
But
yeah.
anyways, so all this stuff, that came in with it, I had to force myself. So I watched the trailer like 5 times today, I believe, but I had to force myself to pay attention to the pinball parts because the movie parts got me excited, right? And the coloring and the theme and the atmosphere they had
Yeah.
the machine in and the angles they took. But I did like it. There was a lot that came out of it, and we could talk about the different things, but there's so much about it. I will say the one thing that impressed me the most about the game, or that I like most about that game, is the day-night cycle. For some reason, I've
Yes.
always been a day-night cycle nerd when it comes to games, right? But this was awesome because it felt like it turned into a completely different game. It was so cool to just see it dim down and then the UV lighting and painting and stuff kick into effect and look really cool. So that was a really neat experience just to see it on
Yeah.
screen.
Yeah. My opinion of it is I wasn't expecting much of it. I don't really care for Avatar at all. I don't have like any kind of like I like James Cameron stuff and I like that aspect of it, like the worlds that he builds. But I'm just not like a super Avatar nut. I have to admit though, the machine looks fantastic. I really like the UV light. I don't really understand how the UV lights necessarily work because they were talking about they're like a lot of them are like underneath the playfield or something like that, or
Hmm.
like any inserts, and somehow that's like lighting stuff there. So I'm
Hmm.
really curious on that. I have to agree with you on the day night cycle. When they showed like using the spinner to transition the day night cycle over, I was like, oh. And this just goes back to that whole thing. Like the thing I was thinking when they're actually talking about the game and talking about the modes and the lower playfield and all that stuff is I'm like, this is really honestly what Stern needs to do with their modes. They need to get more creative. I saw a lot of creativity with
Hmm.
the modes in that pen,
Yes.
but it's like I would say like trajectory, geometry, stuff like that. Not as creative as X-Men personally, but there was still some really cool stuff. I don't know if you guys noticed that like little curly cue in the center, that when you're hitting it from that side flipper, the way it completes that is that ramp goes up
Oh.
to go into the basement. Well, it also goes up to create that path to go into the wire form. And I was like, that's freaking brilliant. That's
Uh,
amazing looking. Or
wait,
no,
are you talking about the thing they call the scramp, the scoop ramp?
Yes, I think
scrimp.
so.
Okay.
That's what
Yeah,
it
that
So
thing was cool.
that goes up, and from what I could tell, there's like a subway entry into there for the lower playfield, right?
I
But
believe
also,
so
if you
too.
shoot it from the side in some of the videos, it looked like it also stays up to create that pathway into the wire form.
Yeah, yeah, it looks like it
So
did 3 things, it looked like. So
yeah,
it could go into the subway, right, to the lower playfields,
yeah,
or if you shot it from the top flipper, it fed the bottom right flipper. If you shot it from the bottom right flipper, or from the bottom, it would feed it to the top right flipper.
okay.
So that was neat.
And then I don't really get the pop bumper. Was that like controlled with the flippers? That's what it kind of
Y
seemed like.
yeah, I didn't pick
I
that
thought it
up.
was
Yeah,
just automatic. It almost sounded like it was just like a automatic thing you drop in there. It just does something for a bit and then it starts the lower playfield, which seemed kind of excess to me. But
yeah,
that's something I think we'll just have to wait until we can see more on that.
yeah. And I didn't see how you lock balls in the other like little subway like infinity mirror looking thing, but that was cool looking.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I'm really curious on it. at one point when I first saw the photos and stuff, I thought that like left ramp was actually like a 180, and I don't think I still remember seeing what that actual wire form came from or where it goes to. So I've only seen it like once today because I was setting up for this. But yeah, based on what I saw and what I saw of the rules, I thought the rules were very creative.
Hmm.
I like how like different sections of it are kind of like split up in different ways. And I
Oh
was
yeah.
really thinking that the thing I was afraid of that this was just going to be the second Avatar movie, and it's not. There's actually like a lot of modes and stuff from the first Avatar movie and all that too. So
Mhm.
you've got like the footage of all that stuff in there too, which is really cool. And that's what JJP does very well, both like in their sound package and with that big screen. They're very. I feel like they're probably like the best pinball machine for cinematic properties like this. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, a lot
Them
of
and
really cool
P3.
innovation. And the P3, yeah, we can't forget the
Mhm.
P3.
Which I've got. So
Uh-huh.
gotta throw in the 2 cents. Yeah. So you mentioned the biome sections of the different
Mhm.
games, right? You have the rainforest, the sky, the water, and some kind of fiery field with battles happening. I think it would be really cool if some of the modes, kind of forced you to focus on those areas, but not in a way to limit itself, of course. So hopefully that doesn't happen. But that would be cool to like, you have this forest-based mode and like the main shot maybe is over on the forest side, right?
Yeah,
So hopefully they worked some of that into it, but that is really neat.
yeah. So, unfortunately, it's not a buy, and it no, somebody followed. Who's following
I would
over
say we
Okay.
here?
actually have quite a bit of chat if we want to address that.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Guys, I have to look this way because, my second monitor isn't working, so I'm using my TV. Hi all. Avatar looks awesome. I was excited about X-Men, but now more so for Avatar. Really? Okay, I've heard that a couple times today.
It's like
Yeah,
the
clips are
general
fixed.
consensus of
Yeah.
Me too.
the extra videos have made X-Men look less exciting and Avatar look more exciting. So
I'm with you.
Yeah. The eclipse effect mimicked by the inserts gradually fading from one side to the other of the play field was pretty cool. Yeah, I think that's one of the coolest lighting things I've seen in a long time. How's your
and the
night
fact that
going?
they
Hey Manu, how you doing, man? We're just talking about Avatar now. I can't do you didn't get a FOMO from it? Yeah, I don't think I got FOMO for it just because of the theme personally. But anyways, you were saying Mike?
Yeah, I think the coolest thing about the UV lighting is it's not just like one color of UV. They made an effort to put multiple different colors in. So it doesn't
Yeah.
just look like, Stranger Things add that UV kit and is nice, but it's very kind of one tone, one color UV when it comes on.
Hmm.
And I feel like from the video, it just the different colors all popping was really cool, and it really truly looked like Pandora at night from the movie, which
Definitely.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to see that in person because it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. Like as bright as the flippers were, they almost looked like they were like on fire.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I was really impressed with that.
So I'm
Um
pretty sure it's 3 different colors for the CE, which is one of the big reasons why I like the CE more.
oh, so
More
it's only
variety of
one
colors.
color for the regular one
That's
for the
so I
platinum.
don't know for a fact, they didn't explicitly say one, but it looks like that's the case.
It was hard to tell what was what other than the topper and the armor, where they exclusively called those out for the CE, which the topper looks pretty good. It looks like they
Oh my god, that
kind of
topper.
have iterated on Mando's topper and made it even better with the hologram
Yeah.
display and stuff.
That topper
So
looked way better than the Mando topper. Holy
Yes, it
crap.
does.
That thing
Yeah.
was amazing. They gotta be using, like, one of those, like, really super long, thin screens in there because that's the only way I could see them pulling that off from end to end like that. That
if
was
you actually rewatch it, you can actually see the screen on the top laying flat, and to
uh-huh.
know it's like the mirror hologram style. And
Yeah.
it almost covers the entire top of the pinball machine up there,
It's gotta be
which is
like one
pretty
of those
crazy.
long screens like, CGC uses for, like, the dot matrix,
Yep.
like the big XL screens or something
Yeah.
like that. But, man, I
So
was
those
impressed. It was, like, end-to-end holograms. I was just like, "Oh." It's like, "You
yeah.
guys gonna make me go, like, sell a car or something or a kidney or something like that just for" yeah.
Well, so
But
here's what I'm secretly thinking, because I'm not really a topper guy. I got burned by Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle toppers, and I did buy the Labyrinth topper because that one's just awesome. But
yeah.
so this one, it looks really cool, but I'm never gonna look up there. I'm never gonna. to look at all the cool stuff that it's showing during gameplay. Maybe I'll trap it and look it up. I don't know. But what I'm hoping is that if I were to buy a CE, that I can sell it to an LE owner. I don't know if I could do that, but that would be nice to kind of make up some money there to do that, because I don't want that topper. But it is
I don't
nice.
know. It,
Top-
it's like
Toppers are weird to
SpongeBob.
me because
Yeah.
when I'm playing a pin, I'm never looking at the topper.
Yeah.
So it's like it doesn't really have too much of an effect on the gameplay, right? It's like how in some of Stern's machines, the back glass is different based on the different versions, and to me, it's like I'm not looking at the back glass while I'm playing the game, so it doesn't have a huge effect,
Mhm.
Yeah.
for me personally.
Yeah. So I'd like to say I'm right there with you, but unfortunately, if the topper's cool enough, I'm gonna be like SpongeBob with water. It's like I don't need it, but I want it. That's just the way I am. But like I am sick of like the Stern like flat plastic toppers and stuff for the prices of those things. I'm done with those until like
Mhm.
they have to make one really cool. And I even thought like I thought the Mando topper was really cool, but man, this thing put that to shame really quick. So I'm excited to play it. Unfortunately, at the price point that those machines are, I am priced out now. The only hope I ever have of like owning one of those is secondhand at this point. But man, I thought that thing was cool. I wasn't really into the Navi skin print on the armor. I know a lot of people were, but it wasn't my thing necessarily. I actually like the powder coat on the platinum more. But
Yeah.
other than that, yeah, the art and everything on it was fantastic. I can't wait to see more. We got people in chat, or at least one person in chat that's right now probably going to go play it. What is it, tomorrow? I think. So let me go through chat real quick, guys.
I
Bring
was
on Harry
yeah,
Potter.
Eric.
Sorry.
I
I
think a
mean,
lot
I
of people
have.
were saying that, like, bring on Harry Potter, right? Like, so I feel
Yeah.
bad for the Harry Potter fans. I'm not really a Harry Potter fan, but I feel bad for them because I bet they were so super excited to hear that, and then it was Avatar, and they're just kind of salty now.
Yeah, but
So
if
if
it's
you are a Harry Potter
coming,
fan, I'm sorry. Right.
yeah, but if they do have it and it's coming, then it'll be here eventually.
Hmm.
So I don't know. Maybe they don't have it. Maybe that was all just like made up for some reason that we don't know or understand. But I kind of find that hard to believe. Uh, X-Men comics. Yeah, Avatar grabs you way more. See, that's not the way I was thinking I was going to feel this week. Is like have any kind of feeling towards Avatar whatsoever. Similar to Labyrinth lower scenes screens. Uh oh,
Oh,
like on the back box.
Cammy mentions the the labyrinth and the lower
Yeah.
screens. What's funny is when I was looking at Avatar, I was my brain was kind of expecting some animations back there, and I thought, man, that would be so super cool for Avatar too, right? To have that, because I've got a labyrinth, and that back screen on the playfield is actually pretty cool.
I just had a thought. Okay, imagine like this is just out there just for fun. Imagine they take the idea of that topper for Fifth Element, but put it in the back panel and make it a Pepper's Ghost holographic effect. How cool would that freaking be? Anyways,
Oh yeah.
pie in the sky idea. That's what I do like all the time, and then probably like people will be like, "That's a great idea. I'm gonna go do that." So I should probably keep my mouth shut.
Story.
Might be Pepper's Ghost effect. That's exactly what it is. It's not like a true like three-dimensional hologram where you have like the curved mirrors. It is exactly just the same thing, sheet of glass it's reflecting off of. I'm curious about how it actually flips. So I know that's like a thing that a lot of people ask about JGPs. Me and Mike have gone on about this before, time and time again. Even the old JGPs before the board and stuff, I was always fine with them. I'm like honestly like Stern flippers are not personally my favorite flippers. I like the like 80s Bally flippers the best. Or like typically my and then probably like after that like Fliptronic 2 like opto switches are like my favorites. But like it just pinball machines shoot different, man. And then like the only question you have is if well you're gonna have flipper fade or not. It's but they all shoot different and stuff. And I don't know. I've
Manu,
learned to live with JJPs.
I'm super curious about that too because I loved the way that Elton John feels. I'm really hoping they carry that forward. So I'm gonna reach out to you just to kind of see what you thought about it. I told Erica too, so hopefully she'll kind of give me some feedback on that too. But I am really super curious about that.
Hmm. All right. I was happy I didn't have to spend money. Yeah, homegrown. Especially if I'd love a Harry Potter pin, especially if it was based more on Hogwarts universe rather than the story. See, and I think it would not sell well if it wasn't based off of the main books. If it was just Hogwarts. That's at least that's my feeling. I can't tell you for sure. I'm not a Harry Potter person at all. Um like Labyrinth, Jurassic Park are based in universes rather than films. Yeah,
Uh,
you're walking out of
I
there.
I can't imagine that they would go back to their old flippers after all the positive feedback that they've
Yeah.
received from the Elton John ones. I highly doubt that they would go back.
You would hope not.
I don't think so. I think a lot of people have had criticisms about that and they were listening. But I'm just saying, for me, I can adapt and overcome. That's just the way I am.
Hmm.
But yeah. I mean, Mike doesn't have any of the flipper boards and I was fine over there. Actually, I was kind of sucking really bad on pirates.
It's the flipper boards. You would have been blowing it up.
No, no,
So
no, it
they,
isn't. It was like I didn't understand the rules, and then like you're like telling me like something about a screen down here, and I'm like, what screen? There's like two screens. I don't know what to
You
do.
know, green in
I
the apron.
I can't multitask. I'm a dude. What are you doing?
I'd really love to play that game. I have not yet.
Oh, pirates.
Yeah, Pirates. Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. It's a good pin. Yeah.
So another thing I want to touch up on with Avatar is I don't know if you caught that there's 22 modes. 22 modes were mentioned, which is pretty
Yes.
substantial. Yeah, that's really cool.
Huge.
They had those, I forgot what they call them, song beads or something.
Hmm.
That song beads, like it looks like a necklace, and so for each mode fills in a part of that necklace, and they have
Oh
one
yeah.
for the first movie and the second movie. But that's really cool. 22 modes, and I was equally excited to hear that there might only be two multi balls, and it's not gonna just throw multi balls at you all the time,
Hmm.
because they when they looked at the play field, they specifically mentioned these are for both
Yeah,
of the multi
two
balls,
multiple.
which made it sound like there's only two, which I'm fine with. I just didn't want them to get carried away and keep the multi balls out for free every left and right corner you turned, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You don't want to plunge into multi-ball like on
Yeah.
Godfather.
Yes. Exactly. Exactly.
Just wait for
Yeah.
Eric's next spin. You'll probably be able to do it again. I was happy to see that the tilt warning lights are back in the outlanes.
Yes.
I
Mm.
don't know why that is not a standard in pinball. It should be.
It should be on every freaking pin. I agree with that. I love that about JGPs. Like, matters of fact, I get it. You want to put a big screen up there, or you want like, and you got people like homegrown that's like an animator and probably thinks this is blasphemy when I say this, but I'm sorry. The more information you give me in inserts or like a screen down here somewhere, that's where it's at. Dude, I'm playing pinball and sometimes it's going a million miles a second. I don't have time to look up and look at the screen or any of that stuff. So yeah, if you can tell me where the warnings are or, how far I'm progressing into a mode or something through inserts, love it. That's the way it should be. Pulp Fiction was right.
Another fun game.
Yeah.
That
So,
way you canceled your order on Pulp Fiction because it was right.
well, I canceled my order on Pulp Fiction because I still wouldn't have it.
That's fair.
They told me like beginning of or end of last year, beginning of this year, something like that is when they were going to start making them. And at this rate, I don't even think I would have had it this year. It just takes Chicago gaming forever. And if I want it down the road, I'll just get it secondhand. It's not a big deal. But yeah, I did have FOMO for that game too. As soon as I saw it, because I was like, oh, old school, and it shoots well. I like this. So you guys have FOMO for any of the pins, or you go like you can't go in with every single one you see and be like, all rational. like, no, I'm using complete logic to figure out how I'm buying these games. You've had to have like at some point like some pin that was showed to you where you like had incredible FOMO. And the question is, did you buy the pin based off of that FOMO?
So yeah, I'll go ahead and chime in here. I had to make a distinction in my head between what you just mentioned, right? Impulse buying versus FOMO.
Mhm.
Fear of missing out on something actually requires you feel like you're going to miss out on something. TK in chat here kind of replied when I asked, what kind of common things do you have FOMO for? And not surprising, it's your typical like well your LE like if you want an LE or a collector's edition of something and there's only so much, you're gonna think about it pretty quickly or you're gonna be scared that it's gonna run out, right? And so you definitely have that FOMO. And that's exactly what I'm feeling for Avatar is that if I want a collector's edition, I want to play it too. I'm not going to Chicago Expo because I decided to spend my money elsewhere, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
hopefully they make it to TPF. But I don't know if I'm going to get a chance to play it before I even have a chance to get one of those 1,000. I mean, I don't know, but that's what's going through my head. And I'm like, dang, what if I do miss out and I want it because I don't. I kind of don't want the LE. I don't think it looks as great. I'd rather just spend that extra money to have the full version. But anyway, so
Mhm.
yeah, that's what I'm currently dealing with as far as FOMO is concerned. I have had it one more time in the past with Total Nuclear Annihilation, but this was
Mhm.
the 2.0 collector's edition version. And so there was already videos out there, already people saying it was a great game. I was already won over by everything that was out there, confident that it was going to be a great game. So I did buy that like day one, and I don't regret it at all.
Yeah. And everybody holds on to that I know. As soon as they have it, they're like, I
Yep.
can't get rid of it. So,
I got build
I've
number 69, so I'm keeping it forever.
of course you do. Let me ask you, do you play it with your feet towards the back box and down like this or
That'll be on a future stream. Stay tuned.
Yeah, okay. Defying gravity.
For
Actually
paying members only.
actually
Only
sounds like
fans.
a challenge for the pinball Olympics.
Yeah,
69 your
right.
pinball machine. How about you, Mike? Have you ever like had a terrible bout of FOMO? I'm guessing pirates.
Um, no. So there's like there's a few reasons why I very much stick to the I have to play it before I buy it. One, these machines, all of them, Stearns, I mean, all of them are significant money investments. And to buy something that you just don't even know how it's going to shoot is
Mhm.
just it's too big of a risk. The good news is most pins can resell pretty close to what you get them for. So I guess when you consider that, it's like not as risky. But yeah, in regards to Pirates, it was already like, you know, past production when I got back into pinball and got interested in it. So I never really had a chance to have FOMO with it because we'd already missed that point, right?
Mhm.
The only thing I was contending with was the fact that it was one of the most expensive pinball machines you could get, and it seemed like the price was only going up. So there was well, how soon should I get it because it's only getting more expensive?
Mhm.
So that's kind of a little bit, but I had played it at 4 or 5 different locations before I even considered getting one. Um, yeah, very much made sure I enjoyed the game and it wasn't just, oh, this looks fun. I played it once and I had a good time. I really
Yeah.
got to play it a few times. The other pin, also JJP, that really reinforced this is Godfather. So Godfather, everyone was pretty hyped about it. One
Mhm.
pretty cool theme. Didn't do much for me. I haven't even seen Godfather. Um, but the fact that it was kind of looked like it was a hybrid between Pirates and Guns N' Roses, which I own both of those pins. I like both of those pins. Was like, is this potentially like the perfect hybrid of these two games? Um, but every time I go and play one, I do not have a good time because for whatever reason, the way that layout works when you play it, it just I think they went a little too crazy with the mega diverter where you shoot a ramp and it could come out in 4 different places and you don't really
Yeah.
ever know which, and one of them is straight down the middle. just kind of like left a sour taste in my mouth. And it's just like, had I bought that and it showed up and I played it and I just kept getting that feeling of, oh, I'm not really enjoying playing this, I'd have been
Hmm.
pretty upset with myself for buying it. Um, so yeah, I always a very hard firm, like I feel like I need to go and play the machine because as great as Avatar can look, as cool as the modes and the code looks for it, if you go to play it and it doesn't shoot well, or for whatever reason it doesn't vibe with you, or it feels very repetitive, and this is different for different people. What makes a pin repetitive and stuff?
Right.
Then you know, like, hey, this isn't the pin for me, and I shouldn't get it.
Yeah.
Um, Another thing to support, like, don't get too carried away with the FOMO is look at the used pinball market, right? Like it may take a while, but almost any version of any game does from time to time show up on the pinball market, right? Like
Well,
Pirates
yes.
it still shows up. I'll admit it is way more expensive now, but
Hmm.
it's also been quite a while since that one stopped getting produced. But it's
I
like,
feel like
for
that some
example,
of
in
these
Avatar.
though, you like for instance like Pirates, it does show up, but then you have to like ship it 9 times out of 10 because it's not going to show
Yeah,
up locally too often.
true. Which I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
if it's truly a pin that you are 100% confident you need to have in your collection, I feel
Hmm.
like when we're talking dropping $11,000 on a pin, I feel like $500 is probably better than the potential
Sure.
of paying for it up front, getting it, not liking it, and then having to kind of get rid of it, you know. But that's
Yeah.
my opinion. I think that even if all of the Avatar collector editions sell out, there'll be some that probably pop up on the used market within, the next year or two.
And
And
Homegrown chimed in earlier and said that for him it was Pirates that he had, and he missed out on it, but he had FOMO for it. For me, and you guys are gonna laugh at this, and I kind of laugh at it too now, knowing. Keep in mind it was during the pandemic. Um, I'm a huge Star Wars fan, or at least like some of the Star Wars. I'm gonna be honest with you because I'm not down with all the Disney stuff. But one of the things that they did great is the first 2 seasons of Mandalorian. And it was at that time, and I was in love with that show, and I loved the music, and I loved everything about it. And Stern showed that Mandalorian pin off, and I was all about it. It didn't matter. I was like all about that theme. And man, did that bite me in the butt. So I bought it without, I think I flipped it once. I went to Seattle and flipped it once, and I flipped a pro. So I bought it, and then the thing that really killed it for me was Ambush. And I'm sure anybody that's played that game knows what I'm talking about. I just don't like it when I'm like got a certain mindset or goal in mind, and all of a sudden the game stops what I'm doing. It's like, no, you are doing this now. I don't like that even in like video games or anything like that. I was just like, damn it, that's I like everything about this except for that. Can we just get rid of that, please? It's like, no, it's part of the game. And like, it's a stupid part. And then just that it was like fate. Like my pin was telling me like I'm not the one. Like the clear coat just started peeling up like randomly in spots
oh
and stuff. I
no.
was like, so I managed to get it swapped for a turtles, and I was much more into turtles. But I like turtles. But overall, that was like probably one of the hardest hits I've had of FOMO until this week. I will 100% admit that X Men had me until I saw that live stream. Granted, the live stream was great. I liked seeing the fanny pack and Jack's crotch, but
Yeah.
other than that,
Hey
Just
man, well,
awkwardly standing there with his hands in front of his crotch, like,
the roles were just not
uh-huh.
exciting to me so far. But I also just don't know them. It's like it's one of those things. So I think what I've
mhm.
learned over time, since we're out of the pandemic, it's a little bit different now because you could just buy a machine and have it for like 6 months and sell it for sometimes the same or more than you ended up paying for it new. Now that we're out of that, I'm pretty much more like strictly like just breathe. If you see something that's gonna be like get you excited, just take a moment, breathe, give it a few days. Because I was like ready to like start selling pins again. I was like, you need to just relax, take a moment, watch the gameplay and stuff. And I'm glad I did because it's like that emotional part that gets up real high and then it came down off the high horse, and I'm kind of like, okay, I can wait for like a used pin out there. So
Hmm.
I've gotten much better at learning it about learning how to manage that. But man, I was real bad. It was just like I'd see something, I'm like, it looks awesome. I must have it. I don't need it. I don't need retirement. Who needs retirement? That's dumb.
But see, one reason why I'm glad I don't have FOMO all the time is call me rich and pompous, I guess. I don't know, but I don't like used stuff. I want to be the only person who has touched my precious things. So I wish it wasn't like that. That'd be great.
Mhm.
But I'm just like that. And so when I think of these pins and I think about getting them, I always think about how I'm going to get it into a box. Um, but I mentioned that just because that kind of factors in with my FOMO, and I'm actually glad those two, don't have a terrible intersection and you know, make me buy everything that's in sight. My wife would not appreciate that, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's the thing that was really refreshing this week to me, whether it was FOMO or not, whatever the reason, is there was a lot of people bought X-Men this week, and I was a little bit fearful where the industry was going. And I was worried about, like, because of the prices dropping on the used market and the prices of new machines going up, I was kind of getting used to I was getting used to the idea that, like, are we going to be in like some trouble here because those prices are not coming down, and it's looking more and more like people just wait until it goes onto the used market and get it for like 1,000, 2,000 off, whatever. And I'm like, that just can't be good for the industry. You have to. But the thing I'm thankful for is that it got enough people excited to still buy new, and I think that's good for the industry overall. And I was even
Hmm.
worried for Avatar. But I think after seeing the video today and hearing some feedback from other people, I think people are also still excited for Avatar, and I think there'll be sales for that. So whether it's FOMO or not, and whether it's not a good thing or not, I don't necessarily think it's always a good thing, but I'm glad that it exists. And the people just do have like the money, and it's like buying like a tic tac to them or something. It's great to see that they're still into the hobby and still going to do that. So I don't know. I kind of like thinking like to a certain degree, FOMO is overall a good thing.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it definitely can be.
yeah.
Definitely can be. And I personally wish I'm a software developer. I've been in the industry for 20 years, and it blew my mind when I came to this. When I came into pinball, which was 2021, and I realized that that machine shipped pre 1.0. 1.0 pretty much means all the base features are complete, right? And you ship it. And
Yeah.
I work in a place where that 1.0 is where we send it to internal QA, and it goes to two more phases of QA. But that means okay, I'm done. And so that blew my mind.
Mhm.
But I've kind of gotten used to it now. But that I think that's why I'm not as excited about a lot of games that come out right off the bats because I just accept that they're not going to be fully done, and
Mhm.
I'll just wait until they are. And I'm usually fine buying, a pro or premium or something that's not limited.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point. I just think that there's, like, different levels to, like, the market overall. There's the people who are gonna buy right away. There's the people who are gonna wait. I still think there's, like, a secondary market after that. The people will wait for the rules and stuff to flesh out and still buy new. Um, and then there's people like me that buy used afterwards, which is probably not the best thing for the companies themselves, but unfortunately, Um,
Well, I think it's
so
great. So I don't want anybody to feel bad if they pulled the trigger early. I mean, do what you do, right? This is a fun
yeah,
hobby. If that makes you happy, go for it. I mean, that's great, and especially my streamer friends because when you get it, I'll be able to watch you play it, right? So
that's a
vicariously
good
live
point,
through you.
yeah,
But
yeah,
I think, more power to you. I think that's awesome.
yeah. So I'm ready to say that I think FOMO's a good thing. Because I want the industry to keep doing well and stuff. I
Here,
do want to
here's one thing
see
that
huh?
I'm sorry. Go.
Go for it. No, go
Okay,
for it.
real quick. So, we were mentioning 1.0 and like when games are done and stuff. One thing I'm super excited to see is how Stern is making software post 1.0. Well, okay, so even Jaws isn't 1.0 yet, and they're making stuff that's post 1.0. But I still like to see that, and I hope that continues because as a home buyer, that freshens the experience. And just a little software update of like, hey, here's a cool mode. You're gonna battle this person in different contexts, right? And
Yeah.
that's super cool. I really hope that. that builds up. And I would like it if one day we followed what the game industry does and gave some kind of like mod kits to people. And if they want to make certain games and these download these mods for different modes and stuff,
Mhm.
that would extremely up the value of having this huge machine in your house. And I think a lot more people would be more willing to buy stuff when they can find more and more content out there for it.
Mhm.
But
Yeah,
multimorphic did.
Yeah.
yeah, that is
Like, yeah.
true. Yeah, yeah, and I like personally. I don't know if you guys have played Drained on the multimorphic. I
hmm
think that thing's awesome. It's an amazing independently made module. It's actually one of my favorite ones on there. And all it is a bunch of targets, some drops, and a gobble hole. But it's just like the mode is fun itself. And then I've not been able to play it myself, but I heard Blood Bank Billiards is really fun with that module. So I can't wait to try that out. Probably won't be able to touch it until Texas. But yeah, like I would definitely like to see Stern open it up to other people. I don't think that's going to happen, to be honest with you. I think P3 is probably our best bet for that.
hmm
As far as like, and then that's kind of like what the VPen market does. You know, the VPen people that are making these machines. So I just want Stern to dig into that a little bit more. Like these machines can definitely support different modes of play and stuff. Definitely make it a thing. But the thing I'm worried about is like when Spike 3 comes out, I think the reason we haven't seen like symmetric would it be symmetrical when two people are playing at the same time? Online play or parallel? It would be parallel, wouldn't it? But I
Um,
think at some point they're gonna
Parallel
make
because
it.
yeah,
it
it's
would be
parallel.
doing
Yeah.
different actions.
Yeah. So it would be I think that's the next thing that they're gonna do. And when they do that, they'll probably just start flushing it on all their Spike 3 modules or all their Spike 3 machines. I think we'll just see that for a while. But I definitely want pins to open up more and just be like offering like all these different types of ways to play them, co-op, play them with your friends. Like why not? You know, they're expensive machines. Let's figure out different ways to use the shots and different modes and stuff within that particular universe or other universes like multimorphic, for instance. Like one of the funnest
hmm
things I like to play on multimorphic is like the asteroids game. What is it? Just rocks, and it's like
Oh
doesn't
yeah.
even use the back module. It's just like the front part, and you're just like flipping and hitting rocks. That's all you're doing.
Dungeon Door Defender is pretty cool too. I've got that one.
I have not played it yet. Yeah,
That one looks pretty cool from what I've
It's kind of
seen people playing it.
it's like a
yeah.
tower defense, but your pinball can do damage too. Um, Pretty neat.
Hey, homegrown. Start your stream so we could raid into you. Guys, I appreciate you hanging out today. We have, I don't know, it was okay. I think we can do better next time. That's on me. I'll figure it out as I go along. I haven't really done anything like this in a long time. But thanks for joining me. And I hope
Yeah.
to have you guys on again sometime. And maybe some of you guys in chat, you can switch in and just like join us. We'll be probably doing this about once a month. Maybe if something comes up and somebody plays like a pin or somebody has some kind of like special news or something you want to share at some point, we might start one of these up for that. But the idea is just to keep it simple. You guys just come in Discord, just come in, chat, talk pinball, and go off the rails, whatever. And just have a good time. I just want to hang out with my pin friends. That's all I want to do. I don't care. But hey, like, share, it helps the stream out, and it'll be on YouTube tomorrow in an edited fashion. So I'm not like I don't know what we were doing in the beginning. We were talking about something that's definitely getting cut out.
Yeah. Yeah. Awkward
Yeah,
start, but that's fine. It'll get better,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah. Well, thanks for inviting me. It was totally fun, and
yeah.
it's an interesting time for me because it's 2 hours later than you, and everybody's in bed here, which is why I'm talking silent for everybody who's wondering. But
You sound
it's
fine.
really cool. It's
Yeah.
it's really cool. I had a good time, and so yeah, I'd love to do it again.
So guys, go over to Combo Chuck on is it Coinline on YouTube now?
No, it's on YouTube. It is Combo Check still. YouTube
Combo
and
Chuck.
Instagram.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So it's on Combo Chuck on those. And then guys, check out Pink Ninja Man. He streams every Wednesday night, I think starting at 8, right?
Mhm.
8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And
Yep.
he's the JJP guy in the family. So go check him
Nice.
out. It's
I'm the weirdo.
sooner or later, it's just going to be every JJP pin down there. I'm pretty sure of that, except for
Yep,
Godfather, apparently.
accepting donations of avatar pins so I can play them for you guys on the stream.
Yeah. If you all in chat sell a kidney, we can get him an avatar machine. Just Beetle one stream where everybody's like in a tub of ice, like, I did it for the hobby.
There you go.
Yeah. And you can find my videos randomly on the internet under Cascade Pinball. I have no clue what the hell I'm doing. I'm just winging it, having fun. I hope you like it too. Other than that, you can join me here on Twitch. Every once in a while, I just stream either off my computer like this, or I stream even off my PS5. You can join me for actually good streams when I do certain things like Mario Kart and stuff with Homegrown. We do that about once a month. Right now, I think we're set up for the 28th. And we haven't thought about what games we're going to play next. One idea that we had that I really like, and I'd like you guys to join too if you have time. We found a online board game thing that you can just play board games through the web browser.
BGA,
And what? I don't know.
the Board Game Association or whatever. I
Board
think is
Game
what it's called.
Association. I don't know. I have to
No,
ask
sorry, Board Game
Aldi.
Arena.
Board Game Arena. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna try to do that one night and have all you guys join us and stuff. I think that'd be a lot of fun. But we do Mario Kart. We do some beat 'em ups together. We've been doing Red Dead Redemption. So join us for that. And otherwise, I just goof off on here and I do really terrible things like play Sniper Elite 5 and shoot Nazis in the nuts for fun. Because why not?
Fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
We we all have
Yeah.
our guilty pleasures.
All right. So later, everybody. Have a good one.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Bye.